Okay, right, it's time for another little commentary news video regarding the state of the game, upcoming title update 20.1. Let's go straight into the two things that really matter. So it appears that developers don't like the interaction between the system medkit, which is called the Hackstep protocol, and then with the instant armor kits right here. They're not happy with that. So I guess what this means here is instead of you being able to tap an instant kit into a system kit, one right after the other, but what I gather is when you use an instant armor kit, that's going to put you on a 5-second cooldown in which you cannot tap the Hackstep protocol talent. That's what I understand from reading this, because I don't think there's any other way that they could mean it, unless they mean they don't want the instant make it working at all with system. But if that happens, then system is dead, completely dead. I don't think system with the instant med kit is even that strong in the first place, because an armor regen build is, well, simply stronger. It does the same job but better. System does edge out and does a little bit damage when you tap the med kit, because you get the 20%, you know, damage if you have like half your bonus armor there. That's great, but yeah, I mean, let's move on from that. I mean, this is not going to change too much. The big thing that is concerning me is actually this. So apparently Survivalist and Firewall are receiving a 50% flat armor using the instant armor kit instead of the intended 25%. I'm thinking 50%? No, you're not getting 50%. It's 37.5%, right? I forget that there is a PvP and a PvE scaling. So let's quickly just go into the game here so I can show you exactly what I mean. And I can't believe it didn't even occur to me that this was a bug, because I had a couple people saying that it's a bug. I'm like, what are you talking about? What bug? This is how it's meant to be. However, it only took about 5 seconds of reading the talent to realize that actually it is a bug. So we're going to get to the firing range here. We're going to show you that this is not actually intended. So let's look at the recipe talent. Efficient or perfectly efficient. Both of them function exactly the same, apart from the chance to get your medkit to be refunded. So with perfectly efficient it's 75, and with regular efficient it's only 50. But the actual specialization armor kit bonuses are increased by 100%. Same thing with perfect efficient. If you check the PvP stats, it's actually 50%. Same thing with regular efficient. When you understand that it is only referring to the specialization armor kit bonuses, then you realize that actually getting more armor back from your instant med kit, this is not meant to be happening. Because if I go and I change my spec, I'm not getting that bonus. And the thing is, I haven't been using other specs, because why would you when you get the Firewall medkit being stronger and Survivalist to help your team? Why would you use any of the other specs? So let's go and pick Technician, for example. It's another very popular spec in PvP for many reasons. And you'll see, I'm not getting back the same amount. So I go take my damage, tap the kit, see, 25%. So yeah, I guess it's a bug. But is the bug a bad thing, or should the bug be turned into a feature? The reason I say this is, okay, so here we are, the title update 20 patch notes. Now if we scroll down, I'm going to show you exactly why this should be turned into a feature. The problem I have with this is we have a buff to damage. Once again, Intimidate has gotten a buff. Okay, Obliterate used to last 5 seconds, now it lasts 10 seconds. So where you would stack your Obliterate, go around a corner, re-peek, you are now dealing 25% more damage because your Obliterate is still up. We have weapons that have received 10%, 8%, 10%, 10%. And in the case of Capacitor, 10% base damage and the re-roll of out of cover damage, that is a 20% damage buff. Actually, it's more because it's two independent 10% buffs. It's actually 21% damage buff. The Eagle Bearer gets a 50% RPM, which is like, what, 6-7% RPM boost? And then you've got the 10% out of cover, so to the body, you're dealing, what, like 15% more damage on average? Bighorn, 10% damage to its base damage, 10% damage to targets out of cover, and twice the stacking rate on the talent. This gun is 20 to beyond % damage buff. All LMGs, 20% buff, apart from maybe the blue screen, I think, and the Iron Lung, which did not need a buff, by the way. We've had an enormous power creep with Title Update 20, and the only forms of survival that we have gained, and PvP players have been asking for survivability for a long time. So what did this do? They finally give us our instant medkit. People have been asking for that for years, and we finally got it, and we've been using it, and it's great. We've been asking for survivability for a very long time. So what do we get? Damage, 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 damage. Weapon damage talents, damage. And we get efficient, which is like the only thing that's keeping us alive in these situations via a bug. Fine, I get it, it's a bug. But why not make this a feature? Why not have it so that if you're in any specialization with efficient, when you tap the kit, you get this percentage buff. In PvE it's 100, and in PvP it's 50%. Why can't I tap the kit and get my 37.5 in PvP or 50% in PvE? Turn that into a feature to at least give us something to counter the insane damage buff that we have gotten with this update. Okay, we got a buff to health, but we didn't actually get a buff to base health or the rolls of health from the gear. We only got a buff to health in the form of brand set bonuses. So you have to spec entire builds to get this health buff. This is not a base health buff. I propose, instead of it being 30% health on here, 90% on Cheska, instead of it being on the brand set bonus, why didn't we get a base health buff? Oh, but we did! We got a 10k SHD worth of health buff to anyone that was below 10k. Now that's fine, but 60k health is nothing in the grand scheme of things. What we needed was a 200, 300k health buff across the board for everyone, base. Then if these percentages were tuned down a little bit to compensate so they don't just get crazy health scaling, that would make a lot more sense. If we had an extra blue or two base health and survivability, that would be a lot better for PvP. Maybe we wouldn't need such a strong, efficient instant medkit if we had other forms of survivability to compensate for the damage buffs that we've been getting this patch. You can't give us this power creep without giving us, you know, a armor creep. We need something equal and opposite to keep the balance in check. So if from Tuesday the instant medkit on efficient with Firewall Survivalist go down to 25%, it's not going to be a good move for PvP. It just simply will not be. I don't know, man. I thought I'd just make a video covering this topic because survivability is imperative to the health of the game. And if instant medkit is going to give you only 25% with efficient, it makes you question why you would even run efficient in the first place. Maybe you just go right back to running whatever you would normally run, which is maybe unbreakable for the burst. As long as you survive the burst, then you build stacks and then you can win that way. But I was really enjoying the instant medkit on the move. But yeah, I still think the solution is not to fix the bug. I think the solution is to make the bug a feature, and all you gotta do is you add here in the talents, specialization armor kit bonuses and instant medkits are increased by 100% and 50% in PvP. That's it. That's all I'm asking for. For the rest of you who are watching this video, there is now a PvP channel on the official Discord, so please, this is the place to talk about it. Clearly, they've created this channel so they can keep an eye on feedback and so they can make changes. Project Resolve Title Update 20 was not the end, it was the beginning of changes to making this game great again. We've got a lot of good changes, there are still a couple of changes that still need to be fixed, but we're on the right track. I just think that taking 2 steps forward with this instant medkit, we're about to take a step back with a perfect efficient not affecting the actual strength of the medkit. I think it should. Let me know what you guys think. Let's get a conversation going. Let's talk. Let's be vocal, because it's the only way things are going to change for the better. Try playing the game and you realize how much damage it is. When you have too much damage, nobody moves. When nobody moves, there is no experience. That is the problem with Dark Zone turrets and things like that. People don't move out of the turrets, they just sit in there perpetually. While you got rogues sitting outside trying to do a fight, and they can't because they can't push and they don't push. Nothing happens. Boring. Clear, leave server, next server, right back to Occupied again. But then Occupied turns into the complete opposite, where it's door camp simulator. It's two extremes. We need something more in the middle. And that is why developers need to be talking with the players, or at least listening to the players' feedback and doing something about it. This is my message to everyone, including the devs. Make the bug a feature. Until then, catch you on the next one in a bit. Bye.